Okay, thank you for visiting. If I were to tell you about all the new things we have, it would take 3 hours because we have many, many new developments. In our basic arsenal of lighting equipment, we have a system called NEO, which is an LED system where one ballast can operate 34 different data lights. 20 watt, 40 watt, 90 watt, monocolor, bicolor, infrared, ultraviolet, everything. This is a very special high technology device because for the first time you can dim LED all the way down to 0.1% without any problem, and you can choose the curves whether you want to go linear or exponential. Most camera people don't even know how to spell exponential, but if you want to do some drama coming up from total darkness, exponential curve is much more suitable. Also, sometimes people want to shoot commercials, and sometimes in commercials you use high-speed video. Many LED systems don't agree with high-speed video. This new system can work with any speed of high-speed video, and we tested it up to 400,000 frames per second. Usually commercials is 200, 300 frames, maximum 2,000. So that's another one. And I'm a stupid cameraman. I always thought DMX control is one thing. It isn't. There's 8-bit, 16-bit, RDM, many different versions, many different speeds to communicate with a control console. You can do all of that. And also, if you want to, you can go wireless, control from your mobile phone. So that's NEO. Another aspect in which we're deeply involved is the virtual productions, where we can synchronize multicolor lights to the events on the screen by making the multicolor light copy what we see on the screen. 8 different points, 8 different areas, and each one of those can be assigned to one light or a whole group of lights. And that leads us into the other field where we're leading, that's the world of reflected light. Reflectors have been around forever, ever since the first images were made. But we have 5 different reflector surfaces with very different characters. We have 5 different sizes of reflectors. All of my reflectors can be motorized, so you don't have to climb on ladders and adjust things. And we don't only have reflectors, we have the lights for this world of reflectors. And those are very special lights. To give you one example, we have focusing lights, and in Russia was popular my very first focusing light. Many mobile teams have it. It has a clean beam, far reach, and a focus range of 1 to 25, whereas other lights on that size have 1 to 3. Now we have also a bigger light that is a 400 watt light that won the recognition of the Oscar committee, and has a focus range of 1 to 20, which is exceptional. When we go from flood 60 degree to spot 4 degrees, the intensity change is 1 to 20. But now in spot we have an angle of 4 degree only, very narrow. Now we have another optic piece attachment that we put in front, and again we're 4 degrees. So what the hell? Why do we do this? Because now, all of a sudden, we have 500% more light. Now, I know Russia is very rich, and energy is no problem in Russia. You have all the atomic plants, you have oil, you have gas, everything. But in some countries, energy and climate is a subject. So to have 500% more light than the best light already, for some people it makes sense. Yeah? And thus we contribute. But then we also have the same devices for all my 50 focusing dado lights. Russians were very good with the very first one, and they do wonderful lighting with it. I'm always envious. When I watch them how to do the interview lighting and so on, it's brilliant. And every time I learn. But we have gone all the way, and we now have lights that have a very special character. Those lights can simulate natural light. What does that mean? Like when you're in a studio, like a virtual production, a big LED screen, we try to put nature into the studio. Today it's the Sahara, tomorrow it's the beach of Rio or Mount Fuji, or you're in Siberia. But if you light the action inside the studio, the traditional lighting will never look good. So we're the only ones that can create the illusion of natural light, sunlight that comes from outside the studio. Some people say, wait a minute, do you need a window for the light to come through? No, it's a virtual light source that appears to be much further away. And the amazing thing is that every film, video, photography person knows about the square law. Double the distance, quarter of the light. All of a sudden it's not true anymore. You go double the distance, you have nearly the same light. Like natural light, like sunlight. And this illusion is important because in our business we are not people who push a button. We're magicians. We're illusionists. We create dreams.
Yeah.
And to create the illusion of natural light from a very, very far distance inside the restraints of a studio, that's a miracle. And with my lights you can do that. And we're proud of that. And we'd love to show it. And many people have a hard time believing it. So you have light meters. And you can walk it and you can find out it's absolutely true. Yeah? And that's what we're proud of, this marriage of the entire world of reflected light, where we are, I hate to say this, but we're the absolute masters. And also, if ecology and economy are both of importance, not to rich Russians, I know.
I understand.
Ecology, you have so much energy you don't need to think about it. You have so much money you don't need to think about it. Yeah? But if those points are important, we are the absolute masters. Because we also work on the very small end. We have a system called light stream light, with reflectors that are as light as a piece of paper. Yeah? And you can light those with one single 40-watt light. And you add my magic optics, and you have 10 times more light. How can that be? It's true. Try it out. And then you can light with 10 or 12 reflectors the entire scene with one light. And it's a 40-watt light, and with a small battery you can run that for 2 hours. The Russians don't care. They have any kind of energy, any kind of money. And since in our business still the important people are men, and men are driven by testosterone, So size matters. So you need big lights. Yeah? But I have small lights that have big power. And that's something that for some people makes sense. But some of them have a hard time to believe it. So try it out, work with us, and be surprised. And we would love to come and show it all to you. I'd love to have the chance again to be in the Dom Kino and show all the new things, to surprise you a full day, and then go with Nosowski into the studio at Mosfilm and have it in action and try and play with it. Because that's my life. Showing images, creating illusions, and having partners like we have many. Our cinematography friends and all the ones that have a passion for creation of images and telling stories. That's my world, and that's where we have a lot to offer, beyond imagination. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Weigert. One more question. What do you think about future trends of our industry?
At this moment, worldwide, the cinema industry has some big problems. And at the moment, they were caused not only by the pandemic, but then by the strike. And everybody knows that strike is American. So how do we care? But it has an influence all over the world. South America, Mexico, Canada, England, South Africa, Australia. Most of those countries have major problems in the professional movie-making industry because of those incredible strikes in America that shut down the industry. And we were so happy to hear that those strikes are over, but they're not over. Now it's the strike of the IATSE, the electrical people. Then it's the strike of the Teamsters, everybody who drives. And until then, it's not only Hollywood. Canada. Many of the Hollywood films are done in Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal. In England, the Pinewood Studios work with American money. The only country that's not affected may be Russia, because not too much American productions happening in Russia, and Japan. There's not so much influence of American money in Japan. But the whole industry right now is in a deep depression, the professional industry. So the ones that are active are the ones like you who work with their iPhone on their own, and they don't need a big team. They don't need to be obeying union rules. So the YouTubers, the single shooters, they are unhindered. They can go on, and that's exploding. And we have to try and give them the tools that they need. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Mr. Weigert.